Bangladesh, I think, has been one of the first countries to realize that climate change impacts are going to have a problem. Climate change as an issue in the scientific community in terms of emissions of greenhouse gases has been known for longer. But in the early 90s, Bangladesh was probably one of the pioneering countries to start looking at potential impacts, adverse impacts of climate change. But Bangladesh is already a challenged country in terms of its size. It's only 144,000 square kilometers, and it has a population of well over 150 million people. So the population density of well over 1,000 per square kilometer. It's a very low-lying delta, two major rivers of the world, the Ganges, Brahmaputra, and a third, the Meghna. So it has traditionally been a poor country, very agriculture, natural resource dependent, but nevertheless has managed to survive so far. We have, in some parts of the country, in the northwest, we have drought-prone areas part of the year. And in the coastal area, we have a salinity problem, intrusion from the sea, which is partly a combination of sea level rise from climate change and also lower freshwater flows in the Ganges in particular. Nevertheless, there was a lot of damage. Farmland was damaged, homesteads were damaged. A lot of people simply could not go back to where they are. They're still living in slums in Khulna or on dikes in that area. And then a more gradual problem is salinity increase in the groundwater and drinking water. And in Khulna, in the coastal area, the drinking water is actually saline. People are drinking saline water because they have no choice. And there's a lot of efforts to provide fresh water, but it's insufficient. And salinity is gradually increasing. So the two major groups that are going to be affected are rice farmers. I would say that Bangladesh has definitely taken the issue of climate change more seriously than any other country in the world. I see three major decadal scale issues that we need to solve in Bangladesh, and the solutions involve each other. And the three are the next generation of our children, and secondly, the urbanization pattern that we already have. The current urbanization pattern that we have is very Dhaka-centric. We cannot continue to absorb more people in Dhaka. And the third issue is climate change. The future investments that we need to be making are threefold. Firstly, invest in other urban centers, not Dhaka. Get people to go to other places, not by coercion, but by persuasion and attraction. The other solution to the migration problem of the rural population in particular is the inability of those livelihoods to continue in those places for very long. And so we now have to invest not in them, but in their children. And if we can do that successfully over the next 10, 15 years, then we can manage this transition. In the climate change jargon, we call this transformational adaptation as opposed to simply incremental adaptation, which is coping with everything at the moment.